What's up, everybody? This is Jay, and this video is about Empire Season 6, Episode 9, Remember the Music. Now, this is the mid-season finale for the final season of Empire, and they're trying to tie up a lot of loose ends. Before we get into it, if you haven't already, please subscribe and bang that bell so you're notified of all my videos. I'm trying to get to 30K subs, and if you appreciate my videos and you enjoy them with humor, hit that like. Let's get into it. When it comes on, we see Philly Street, and he's listening to the music still, and then White Tracy says, "See, you hear that? That song is about you. Lucious made that song about you." And he started laughing. He say, "Oh, I see what you on, huh? You on that old school John, huh? Well, let me tell you something. If you want Lucious," then she said, "Let go of me." He said, "Save the white girl tears for somebody who give a damn. If you want Lucious Cap, you do it yourself. I don't know who this song is about." She say, "It's about you." He say, "It could be about me. It could be about anybody or nobody. I can't tell." And then she leaves, and she's a little salty right there. Her plan didn't work. Meanwhile, at Empire, we see Lucious and his playing this little Asa Lifetime Achievement Awards, and he's sitting there watching it with a little slant eye, and Andre saying, "Congratulations, Pop. Asa sent it over. This is great. I just want to be the first to say congrats. They're going to send the full thing over, and this is just another notch in your illustrious career. I mean, who won last year? Stevie Wonder. Look at you, Pop. You the man." He said, "You know what, Mike? When I said that on the stage, I meant it. I wanted to do this together with you, Mike. But now, I feel like you trying to put me out the pasture." He said, "Pop, Scout's honor. I didn't do that." He said, "Man, you bought this. Ain't no Boy Scouts in the hood, Mike." He said, "Pop, I don't know what you're talking about. You earned this. This is just another notch in your career." He said, "Look here. Game recognized game, Mike. And let me tell you something. Nobody tells me when it's time to go. As far as I'm understanding things, I'm just getting started. Okay? So you remember that. I ain't going nowhere, Mike." And now he looking a little salty, and Lucious walk off with a little pimp limp, and now Andre don't know what to do. While at Bossy, we see Tiana looking beautiful as always, singing in the booth, sounding good, and Becky say, "Let's turn the bass up." And then we see Cookie walk in saying, "What you need to do, because the bass is already flooding her vocals, is you need to bring her voice over the mix, and then it'll really sound good. That's the ticket right there." And she said, "Give a touch of that." And then Becky smile, and she say, and then we see Tiana smiling, and then Becky say, "You know what, Cookie? You always had the magic touch. Only thing I had a touch of is diabetes, girl." She say, "I know, girl, but it's all good. What you call me here for?" She say, "Come here, let me talk to you. I just want to congratulate you and Lucious on his Lifetime Achievement Award." She said, "Girl, please. Lucious want to act like he did all this by himself when knowing damn well he had this Lifetime Achievement built on my back. He bought that anyway. Anyway, what is it you really need, Becky? That's what you call me here for?" Meanwhile, we see Andre, and he on the phone, and he's saying, "Yeah, it worked like a charm. Pops, he was really, appreciative. He really loved it. Oh, yeah. You held up your end of the bargain." Meanwhile, Kingsley is sitting in front of him, choking himself, doing all kind of stuff, mocking. And then he gets off the phone. He said, "That was beautiful right there, brother." And he said, "Well, thank you, thank you." He said, "Yeah, but did you hear what he said? He's already made another threat to try to take back the Empire. Now, if you listen, I got a plan to take it all back." And he said, "Oh, the plan is all mine." He said, "All right, I understand. You in control, just like what you did. Let me get some of that what you smoking." He said, "What? About how you was able to get Poetic the Prophet to, sign?" He said, "That was beautiful." He said, "Well, I got something for Kelly Patel. Just watch." Meanwhile, we see Hakeem and Fake Cookie, and they all in there performing for the movie, and it's saying, paid in cash. And she like, "You know what, Lucious, you ain't even dropped the album, and you gonna be the king of the music industry. You gonna be dope. Just watch." And she blowing his head up, and next thing you know, he like, cut, this ain't right. this ain't how it's supposed to go. And she walk off. Here we go. And then we see the little fake director come in, and he's like, what's the problem? He like, my mom, she got a lot of opinions. She wouldn't be co-signing like that. He said, look, this is how the script is. Lucious said it went that way. And so just stick to the script. It's my turn to direct. And so he started unplugging the equipment and breaking it. He like, hold on, what you doing? This Casio is irreplaceable. You need to chill. And he's like, look, I'm a lion, okay? So whatever I say goes. Call me Simba. Wow. I want it fixed. Meanwhile, Becky is still talking with Cookie, and she said, look, Becky, what is the problem? Why am I here? She said, well, I could really use your help. And meanwhile, we see Tiana come in. She said, I got to go pick up my kids. She said, oh, okay, well, that's good. You go ahead. She said, go ahead, kiss my grandbabies, girl. She said, I will. And so she said, look, congratulations on Bossy and their little show at the Aces. She said, look, I need to tell you something. It's not going to be any show. We don't have money. I thought Giselle had made this investment and had the money. She said, that's what I'm here for. She said, well, you mind being a silent partner, please? She said, hold on. I'm past the point of being silent right now at my point in this life, and that is something I'm not going to do, and I don't know. You all should get you a distributor or something. She said, well, please, we can discuss degrees of silence. She said, no, Becky. Meanwhile, we see Lucious looking through the window of the studio like a peeping Tom. Then he gets a little text from his boo, Yana, Badu, and she says she'll be back soon. So he come in, he all smiles. He go ahead and give Philly Street dap. And he like, what's up here, Mike of mine? And he said, hey, nothing much. Would you take a look at this? And he hand him these lyrics. And he like, what's this? This is Shine lyrics? Where did you get this? He say, I got it from Tracy. And he said, hey, everybody clear the room, man. And then everybody leave. You see Big Yellow leave, the producer, and the little rapper. And so he says, look, let me tell you something, man. I don't answer to nobody, but I'm going to explain this to you because I consider us friends. You remember Bunky? He says, yeah. He said, look, him and Shine went in on something, and he owed Bunky owed him a mint. And since I'm the one that, brokered the deal, they went on ahead and, had beef. And when Shine ended it, he may have wrote a song or something about it. He said, oh, is that right? He said, could be. I don't know. But let me tell you something. She said, I think I'm a charity case. He said, the only reason you here is because of your talent, man. And now you keep cranking out them hits, and we ain't gonna have nothing to worry about. Meanwhile, he get a text from Hakeem to come to the studio. Now we see Andre, and he over there sampling a little tasty sexual chocolates, and the little chef Boyardee is saying, hey, look, this is what, Meghan Markle and Harry had. And so they all sampling it. She says, yeah, babe, you like it? She says, I do, but I want to talk to you about something. He said, what's the matter? She said, that couple, that girl that was here, I saw her at the club. Why was she here? He said, oh, nothing. I was just handling business. A little something. Pop promised her a record deal, and I was just cleaning it up. She said, at the house, though? He said, look, I mean, what do you think? We had something going on. It's nothing to worry about. She said, yeah, but Lucious ran it like John Gotti Empire. I don't want that for you. He said, that's why I'm cleaning up his mess. I got Kelly Patel coming by, and I'm going to assure him that all his mess is all cleaned up and it's going to be fine. She said, okay, I like this cake right here. He says, fine. She leaves. Meanwhile, he's sitting there stressing, and we see, he's got to talk to his brother again. And so Kingsley like, I think she's going to be a problem. She's on to us. And then he gets the text from Hakeem, and he said, you leave her name out of your mouth. And then he looks back up, and he's gone. And so now we see Lucious is now at the studio, and he's like, Hakeem, what's the matter? He said, hey, the script, I'm being disrespected. He said, well, who's disrespecting you, man? He said, the director's scripts change all the time. He said, yeah, but you changed it, and this is just fake. And he's like, wait, you better watch your mouth. And then Andre say, hey, I didn't approve these scripts, Pop. And he said, look, That's all real right there, man. You need to memorize every word, okay? Or else. And then Cookie say, what you mean? Yeah, well, hell, that word, this is whack juice. This ain't real. What is this you talking about, Lucious, and this made up stuff? And he says, I hope this script is better than this girl here. You the young Cookie? She said, yeah. She said, well, look, I hope you get it together over here because them jeans about the only thing you got going for yourself. And then she rip off her wig, and now she turned into Tasha from Power with the little reverse hairline. And so she walk off talking about, I didn't go to Juilliard for this. She said, yeah, you better go back to Juilliard because we don't need you here for this. And then Andre is saying, look, I don't know what the problem is, but we need to get this fixed. We are bleeding money. She said, what? What you mean you all? He said, yeah, you all, I don't know what's going on, but I want this to be real. And he said, that is real, man. What are you talking about? She said, Lucious, this ain't real. What are you talking about? This is all fake. He said, what's fake? Oh, Lucious, come on now. I was reading this in the car on the way here. What do you mean, Lucious? You already sound like you gonna be the best of all time. This is whack juice. I don't believe this. He said, look, I didn't think so. He said, well, look, you tell me what needs to be corrected and what's not real then, man. Andre said, look, we are hemorrhaging money and you two need to fix it, okay? We're going to shut down production and you fix it, okay? And then they sit down and reluctantly together and they start to work on the script and they kind of give each other little mean muggy why. Meanwhile, we see a Bossy. They had met with a distributor, and so he's talking to, got Giselle and Becky, and then he's saying, so, review the numbers. And she said, well, I'm reviewing, and after we signed with you guys, we only own 7% of what we built. And she's showing Becky because she's only used to reading menus. And he says, no, that's 7% each. She said, oh, each. I thought it was eats. And he says, hey, who has this office in the front? I love the way the light comes in there. Do you think the furniture fit in the back office over there? And she says, I like the furniture where it is. That's my office. And he said, oh, well, I don't think so. And then the other guy step in, Tom and Jerry, and he says, well, actually, Bossy, he's going to have to be here. If we take on a partnership, he's going to have to be the overseer of operations. And they said, overseer? He said, wait a minute, that's a poor choice of words. He's going to need to take a supervisory role if we invest in the company. And, just to make sure the day-to-day is okay. And he gave a little smirk like, yeah, I'm taking over. And so then Giselle said, you know what? I think we're going to have to hold off for a minute and talk about this. He said, well, go ahead. The offer's on the table for 24 hours. And they said, okay, well, thank you. He said, because you guys are up to your edges in debt. And Becky like, how he know what my edges? What do you know about that? What's he talking about edges? Meanwhile, we see Cookie and Lucious, and she said, I don't know about this script, but whoever designed this set deserve Academy Award. Where they get these mismatched dishes that we had from? Anyway, this right here, Lucious, you are just the greatest of all time. Where you come up with this? He said, look, I was just trying to make you sound a little softer, man, a little nicer. You want to fix it? You let me know, man, where we need to go at. And she said, well, I remember like it was yesterday. I was pregnant and you was sitting there. I said, look, the baby doing the Cabbage Patch. And he's working. He's saying, look, I got to come up with a name, man, like Dominion or something, because God gave us dominion over this music game, man. And she said, well, I don't know, but you better go ahead and hurry up, meet up with Bunky or something, so to go ahead and meet up with the Colombians, and you be careful when you go there with them. And so he go behind a little TV and dip and get his little small little wire to change, and he get his little pistol and he tuck his Mississippi knot in the pistol in the back. He say, all right, I'll be back. She say, yeah, you be careful. go and bring the kids back some pizza, because, we want some pizza. The baby needs some pizza. Then he said, all right, babe, I'll be back. She said, all right, and you tell Bunky Big Head that to be careful too. He said, all right, babe, I'll be back. You take care. And so he leave out the door. And she said, you hear that music? That's your daddy beats. He gonna be a star. And he said, oh, okay. So wait, what are you talking about? You was saying this and that, and then you try to say you told me to choose that is to be my single. I choose that song, and now you just telling me you rushed me out, and then you chose all the. If we can't agree on this, how we gonna agree on the rest? She said, I chose that, and you ain't got no memory. You think you did everything. It's always I. And I'm the one that helped you with that. I said you should make Paid in Cash your number one single. Now, he said, well, look here, Mike. I know. I remember what I did. She said, no, Lucious, you don't know and remember everything, Gimpy. If you want to sit here and pass this mess off to our fans as being real, then you need to write me out, okay? Do it without me, all right? Just write me out the story. He said, fine, because we are losing money. She said, oh, now it's we now because it's losing money. You know what? I'm gone, Lucious, and you don't have a contract for me. No way. So I'm out of here. You ain't got my permission. And she walking to get her ride. And so then the director come. He like, what's the problem? He said, look, we gonna have to write her out, man. We gonna have to find somebody else. He said, that's not possible. The public knows that there was a cookie lying. It's like we trying to make the movie without the music. He said, well, look, we just gonna have to call her something else, man. He said, well, I don't see how we gonna do that without the music. He said, you know what? Hold on. Let me get some of my music, man. And then he get the little key, tape and put it in there. He said, Cookie. And she said, what? And he said, listen to this. You remember this, Mike? And then he got the Paid in Cash playing, and they start bringing back little memories, and she kind of reluctantly give in and looking at him, and he like, you remember this, Mike? Yeah. And so then she kind of put her head down and give in. Meanwhile, Becky is at Bossy drinking champagne like Kool-Aid, and she said, at least decorating is the one thing we got right at Bossy. She said, yeah, girl, I was looking forward to being out of the shadow of a man. She said, I know, right? And she said, you was under my shadow, but everybody is. And she said, yeah, Becky, we could have just really made something happen. We just needed the money. And she said, wait, hold on, I got an idea. And so she gets up and she like, where you going? She say, don't drink my champagne. She say, I won't. Go. Oops, I can't help it. Meanwhile, we see it's Andre at the house having a dinner with Kelly Patel, and so he like, man, that was great. He said, now it's time for business. He said, oh man, I almost made it. I was this close to getting away without that business talk. He said, hey man, look, Empire has been doing great. I want to make you an offer to buy your shares. He said, why would I sell? Empire's making more money. I don't need to sell. He said, look, this offer here, if you take a look, this right here is a profit and margin. He said, how'd you get this already? He said, this is just my projections. And right now, I can buy some of your shares and you get to keep some, so that way you making money and you get to keep making money. She said, man, you got a smart husband there. And she said, I know. He said, hey, what can I say? And so he said, sounds like a deal. Meanwhile, we see Empire movie is getting back on track, and Lucious said, look here, you want to help make this and you want to correct it, you tell me. She said, well, get the pen and start writing, okay? Because I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you, because I remember it was like it was yesterday. He said, all right, well, you tell me where it need to be fixed. She said, so I was sitting there and I was listening. I was telling them, see, that's your daddy beats. We going to be a star. And so then she get a phone call. She said, look, Bunky, yeah, Lucious going to meet up. He said, wait, you in New York? And she said, look, Andre, you watch after your little brother. I'll be right back. And so she leave. And so he says, so wait a minute, Mike. You was only down with me because you thought that I was going to be a star. You was only there for the music. She said, Lucious, come on now. You know I loved your dirty draws. I wasn't going nowhere. I was there to support the father of my kids, and I wanted to make sure everybody was safe. And so she's going there to the spot where they was meeting up with the Colombians. And she said, plus the feds have staking out the Colombians for weeks, and you was gonna get busted. And right when they was coming to get you, I saw them. And so I had to go ahead and fake it out. So I pretended the only thing I could do is that I was going in labor. Help! Oh, the baby coming. And then the cop like, man, come on, let's go. And he said, hold on, man, she needs help. And so the black cop go and help her. And she's like, the baby, ooh. He's like, I'm gonna call the ambulance. She said, no, the baby coming now. So then she at the hospital, she walk out. She get in the car with Lucious. He like, what's up, Mike? What happened? He said, I was in there pretending for hours until the bad doctor said it was false labor. And she said, you take care of that? He said, I did, and I flipped it already, man. She said, well, that was too close, Lucious. You gotta be careful. He said, I am, man. I got this. She said, well, here, you wear this. My daddy gave this to me. It's gonna look after you. He said, this, I can't take. This was your daddy. She said, no, Lucious. I want to make sure you okay. Things is getting too hard out here. I want to make sure you make it home. We got these kids and we got to do better. She said, yeah, well, I'm hungry. You gonna get pizza? He said, no, we get some Chinese food. She said, Fu Young. And she said, yeah, that was how it went. But before you write all of that, take out the part that I left them kids by themselves. He kind of gave her a look like, And she said, you know what? Because girls are getting in trouble. They try that again. Oh, yeah. And take out the part that I was pregnant and that I was doing false labor. Say it was I faked a purse snatching. He said, you see? That's how easy the truth can get switched. But it's okay, man, because it's still the ultimate love story, man. She said, yeah, it is, and it's still the truth. What happened? Okay, Lucious, I gotta go. Meanwhile, we see Andre, and he over there, Chef Boyardee, flipping, making omelets for his girl Terry. And so he like, come here, babe. Come on, sit down, eat. Hey, toast. Hey, I love you, babe. And she like, yeah, Andre, thank you. She said, this is really good. I got one question, though. He said, what's that? How did you sign Poetic the Prophet? He said, why? What's the difference? I signed him. She said, I was just wondering. He said, well, maybe you shouldn't wonder too much. And then right when she was told that the little baby monitor go off, he like, look, I'll take care of that. You eat. And meanwhile, she was kind of salty on how he just checked her and basically told her to shut her ass up. So while he goes to check on the baby, he gets a little surprised because he sees that his baby is in the arms of Kingsley. And he like, what are you doing with my baby? Put my baby down. Put him down. He like, it's all right, little bro. I got you. I'll put him down. It's a shame he looks so much like Lucious. But, it's okay. I got you. He said, put him down now. What do you want? He said, I just, can't help but think she's really getting in the way. And we're going to have to do something about that. He said, don't you mention her name again. He said, I understand, baby bro, but it's going to be many other people that's going to get in the way of ruling this empire, and you're going to need me. He said, I don't need you. He said, oh yeah, you're going to need the dark side. Meanwhile, we see back at the studio, he's like, him and Lucious and Cookie say, all right, here's the script. It's all fixed. And then Hakeem say, that's what I'm talking about. Realness. She said, oh yeah, this is real. You all going to have it all together now. And so now everybody happy and back on track. And as they leave, Lucious say, look, man, when I wrote that script, I wrote it differently with you in mind on purpose. She said, why you always want to hurt me? He said, because I was mad and that Damon thing going on and everything. And I wanted to, hurt you because you was the first to believe in me. And then it felt like gave up on it. And I want to let you know you shouldn't. You should believe. She said, Lucious, I want to say I love you too. And yeah, we may have had a lot of good times and stuff, but I want to remember the good with the good and the bad. I can't forget this. I've been holding on to this. And she gave him the divorce papers. He said, so you leaving me, Mike? And she said, look, Lucious, I just can't do this no more. I'm sorry. I just think it's time for us to move on. He said, I thought we still had chance, Mike. And then she walks off, and now he's sitting there heartbroken, looking stupid. Meanwhile, we see on the other side of town, Giselle is met up with Waterhead Dame. And so she's like, look, here's an offer right here, what we need. And he said, oh, okay. I was wondering if you still was interested and wanted some, money, that is. And she said, oh, okay. Well, look, Will Bossy's looking for an investor. He said, well, look, I'm only going to give you half. Okay, I want to see if Bossy is the bad bitch she claimed to be. My investors could use a new laundromat. She said, so what do you think? She said, well, that's fine. You give us those quarters and we'll turn them into nice new dollars. He said, all right, but just keep in mind, I'm only going half. We'll see how it turns out. She said, he said, I like to see that pretty smile. She said, ain't nobody smiling. And then she leave with his busted lip hanging low. Meanwhile, we see Philly Street. He's still going over and over that little mixed disc tape of Shine, and he's thinking more and more about it. And then his little yachty wannabe come in. He's like, man, dude is deep, man. He's sitting here, he talking about this dude came, robbed a dude for the money he stole from somebody else, and then didn't kill him because he didn't have to. Like, damn, what's up, man? He was gangster, West Side Hustler. What happened to him? He said, man, they both got put down. He's like, oh. Meanwhile, we see the white girl, and now, of course, we got to see Nosy Terry. And she said, look, you was at my house the other day talking to my husband. She said, I don't know who he is. She said, Andre Lyon, he paid you, and I know. And hey, I want to know, what were you there for? And she said, I don't remember anything. She said, I'll pay you double if you tell me what was up. And hey, a memory got back real quick. Meanwhile, we see it Bossy. Now, Giselle and Becky say, well, if you look at the counter offer, we actually want to change up the percentages because now we have a certain influx of cash and now we need your help less than what we did before. They said, look, this isn't a negotiation. And then Becky say, no, don't you do that. Don't go there. And then Becky and Giselle, they think they've been in a better position because they got the money. They said, look, we're not playing. And then she go into a Hercules, don't make me go there. And he said, look, you who do you think you are? And next thing you know, here comes Cookie. Excuse me, before we go there, I'm here to talk to you about that offer. And Giselle a little blindsided because she didn't know Becky had made an offer to Cookie. She said, yeah, I want to be partners. She's like, yeah, partners. She said, and I won't be silent, but we could be 3 boss bitches and you 2 non-boss bitches can go. And so they leave. Meanwhile, Lucious is sitting there and he's sulking, looking at the divorce papers, and then he's just looking real sad and depressed, staring at the paid in cash platinum plaque, reminiscing on the good old days, not realizing Philly Street down below. And he's like, hey, he called White Tracy, I think you right. I think it was Lucious. And now she feels relieved. And then he gets in the elevator, cocks his gun. I don't know how he got into security. Now it's time for real talk. I don't know what's going on with Empire and Power and why they want to make everybody die, but it seems that that's what's happening. So I'll get into it. They're trying to make a whodunit situation and trying to make everybody wonder who's the one that end up killing Lucious and blowing up Cookie. Now they've brought in Philly Street and Tracy has brought in this tape. I'm wondering why is her motive trying to destroy Lucious when all of a sudden they were happy, but she see him in the studio with Badu and now she pissed. It's just crazy. Now, also, I want to remind you all to check out my website. I got a couple of new videos on there that I'm going to put. It's really interesting. Also, I want to thank everybody that support my work at patreon.com/Jaymoorereviews. I want to thank 2 of my newest members, Damon 4030 and Sean W. And last but not least,
watch it.
Please
leave a
comment,
hit
that
like button,
and
subscribe,
and
I'll see you
and
the
Next.
video